Now we will discuss the reverberatory furnace. In case of reverberatory furnace, that is used for smelting or refining, which is the fuel is not directly contact with the ore. Here heat does not, or refining does not, or fuel does not directly contact with the ore, but heat it by flame blown over from another chamber. Here fuel is not directly contact to the iron ore. Here only flame heats it by a flame blown over from another chamber. Means when flame will be passes through the another chamber, so due to flame or hot gases will be passes over the ores, and due to continuous passing of the flue gases, the heat will be coming out to that particular metal scrap, and due to continuous heating to the particular metal scrap, the heat will be generated, means higher temperature will be generated, and due to that higher heat, the metal scrap will be converted to the particular molten metal. The term reverberation is used here is a genetic sense of rebounding or reflecting, not will be used to the acoustic sense of echoing. Okay. Another, that furnace is used for melting the copper, tin, nickel production, and also sometimes it will be used for production of concrete, cements, aluminium recycling. That type of furnace will be used. Now, in case of steel making process, that type of furnace now largely obsolete, and it's called open hearth process. Now that type of furnace already obsolete, but in case of steel making, we have used now open hearth process. Today, generally reverberatory furnace will be used to melt the secondary aluminium scrap. Also, we have melt using that type of reverberatory furnace. Reverberatory smelting generally has been giving way to such a newer process, continuous melting using the electric current. That is, continuous melting process has been done due to use of electric current. That is the schematic diagram of the electric reverberatory furnace. What happens now? That is the firebox chamber. Means here fuel or coke will be used for generation of the heat, means or flame will be produced, and another chamber, that is the another chamber, here we kept the metal scrap, and due to burning of the coke or fuel, the hot gases or flue gases will be generated. That flue gases will be flow through the another chamber, that is the another chamber, that is the firebox chamber, that is the hearth chamber. Means here metal scrap will be kept in that particular chamber. When flue gas will be flowed, means that type of shape will be takes place. That type of shape. Means why we are taking that shape? When flue gases has been produced, that flue gases easily comes to that particular metal scrap. Easily comes to that particular metal scrap. Means here flue gases will be produced and taking some obstacle in that particular position, and due to obstacles it will come out to the particular metal scrap, and when it will come, it will flow through the over position of that particular metal scrap, and then it will be goes through the chimney. Okay, and due to continuous flow of that flue gases, the metal scrap will be heated continuously, and the temperature will be increased, and due to higher temperature, after certain time the metal scrap comes to the boiling point, and it will be melted and create the molten metal. That is the schematic diagram of that particular reverberatory furnace. The first reverberatory furnace has been discovered in medieval period. Okay, generally that will be used for melting of the bronze. Okay, another, that also be used, that type of furnace in 17th century also, late 17th century also that will be used. Now Sir Simon Clark and his son generally built that type of cupolas or reverberatory furnace in the Avon George below the Bristol near about 1678. Okay, another in 1687 the obstruct from smelting lead by they move to copper, means when they are melting the bronze, that type of metals, then they are trying to melting the copper, means some modification has been changed to that particular furnaces. That reverberatory furnace widely used for melting these metals and also tin, means later development we have seen that different metals we have melted in that particular furnace, means metals and tins also melted in that particular furnace, means some modification has been takes place to that particular furnace. Now the main advantage of our older methods that fuel was mineral coal. Fuel will be used the mineral coal, not used the charcoal or white coal. White coal or not charcoal we have not used here as a fuel, we have used the mineral coal. Another 1690 applied the reverberatory furnace to melt the pig iron for foundry purpose. That also furnaces we have used 1690 for melting the pig iron for foundry purpose. Means continuous modification has been done to that particular furnaces. The puddling furnace introduced by that furnaces again it will be some modified, okay, by Henry Cott, Iron Man. So that he has been some again modified, okay, near about 1780. So in that time some modification has been done to that particular furnace, that is called puddling furnace, okay, that introduced by the Henry Cott in 1780, means he patented that modification of that particular furnaces. They replaced the older finery process and also variety of reverberatory furnace, means he has been done some modification, means some bigger modification has been taken by the Henry Cott to that particular furnace. Again he has patented on that particular furnaces also. Sometimes it is called also puddling furnace also. What are the construction? Some continuous numerous technical innovations has been put to that particular furnace, and due to continuous technical innovations what happens now, continuously it is improving, okay. And although basic construction has been remained in the same, but continuous technical improvement is going on for melting the different metal and different compounds also for different purposes. Simplest reverberatory furnace is nothing more than a steel box lined. Steel box is there lined with the alumina refractory brick. Here we have used the alumina refractory brick with a flue at one end, other vertically lifting door at the other. Means with a flue at one end, means flue gases will be entered at one end, and a vertically lifting door also we have used for putting the metal scrap to that particular furnaces. Another, conventional oil gas burners are placed usually either side of the furnace to heat the brick. Means sometimes we have used the gas burners. Usually we used to that particular furnace to heat the brick. Sometimes eventual bath molten metal is then also poured a casting machine to process the ingots also. Another, roofs are made of refractory. Roofs means upper side of that furnace made of refractory brick, okay, generally then ordinary brick. Which that refractory brick withstand the higher temperature, because during melting time the higher temperature will be produced to that particular furnace, and the ordinary brick does not withstand the higher temperature, but refractory brick withstand the higher temperature during melting time. In that cases the heat passes over the hearth. Means hearth means the middle, means if we divided into three parts, means one is fuel gas chamber, another is hearth, third part is means chimney. So in between middle part, that is called hearth. Okay, heat when passed over the hearth, in which the ore is placed. Means ore means pig iron or iron ore we have placed in that particular middle part of that particular chamber, means hearth position. Okay, then reverberates that the roof is arced with the highest point over the firebox. Okay, after certain times what happens? Now it slopes down because the particular chamber already we have taken slopes down, because for easy flow of the particular flue gases, and due to that thing we slow down that particular furnace for easy flow of the flue gases. When flue gases will be flow through that particular metal scrap, the continuous heat will be increases and also temperature will be increases. It helps to easily melting the iron ore. The hearth is made of dense of impervious, so that heavy metal and molten impure metal. Okay, and the walls are made of material that resists the chemical. The bricks, refractory bricks will be made throughout the chamber. Okay, that refractory brick does not any react with some other materials. Okay, means that is a chemically does not resist the chemical attack by the slag. Also does not react with some pure metals or slag easily. This process is continuous in the reverberating furnace, and also concentrate charge through the opening in the roof. Through the roof bunks are there, through that particular roof we put the metal scrap for continuous melting process to that particular furnace. Slag which rise to the top, slag or impurities always to the top position, and pure metal, molten metal kept to the bottom position of that particular furnace. That is tapered and interval from the deepest part of the ore but transferred to the converter, and which is further refined. If it is required, then we will refine it. In case of reverberating furnace, we have seen that in that particular picture, what happens, that is also called puddling or reverberating furnace. In 1784, he patented Henry Cott, actually iron master, English iron master. He patented that reverberating furnace or puddling furnace 1784. And that actually what happens, we have used to manufacture the wrought iron from pig iron. Pig iron is a pure metal, pure iron. So actually component near about 99.999. So from that pig iron we have produced the wrought iron, and using that wrought iron, the base of that Statue of Liberty and Eiffel Tower, the main base will be produced by using that wrought iron. Okay, so purpose to manufacture wrought iron from the pig iron. And in that cases what happens, generally mined iron ore, and with that thing we mix the core and flux, then blast furnace we have used, means reverberating furnace we have used, then we produce the pig iron, and from that pig iron we have produced the wrought iron. After that, the main component of that particular furnace, mined iron ore, means here we have used red hematite, magnetite, limonite, iron pyrite and siderite. We have used that type of mined iron ore, and using that things we mix the core and flux. Okay, then it will be used the reverberating furnace, then it will be converted into pig iron. So what happens in that particular furnace? Now generally 3 chambers we have shows that here, that is the fuel means firebox chamber, and that is the hearth chamber, and that is the chimney portions. So in that cases we have seen that here we have used the bunks. We have used the bunks, means in that particular bunks what happened, the metal scrap we have put in that particular hearth position. We have used the metal scrap. And position, why we give that type of slope to that particular furnace, when here that is the firing door, that is the aspect, and that is the fuel grade. In that fuel grade, we have provided the coke. When we start the burning to that mineral coke, so fuel gas will be start. Fuel gas means burning will be start and fuel gas will be produced. And that fuel gas, it will come through that positions. And due to swap in that particular positions, after pouring the metal scrap, it will be fully closed. That bunks will be closed using clay. So after that flue gases flow through over that particular hearth. Okay, and due to continuous flow of that flue gases, the heat will be continuous increasing, and due to increasing the heat, the temperature also increasing, and that metal scrap will be converted to that particular molten metal. And upper position of that particular hearth, the slag will be positioned. Slag will be positions over the molten metal. Then it will using the slag hole. Using the slag hole, we remove the slag, and here tap hole is there. Using that tap hole, we taken the molten metal, and that paddling with paddling rod, that paddler will be helped to remove the slag using that paddler rod. Okay, and here we have seen that the paddler man is there. It remove the impurity. That paddler man will help to remove the slag, and that two persons, they are taking the molten metal using some ladle, and they are taking that lamy ball of production to forge. Means they are taking the molten metal, means it will sometimes it will convert it into some solidified portion. Then it will taken, after taking that molten metal, then it will or taken molten metal or ingot, then they will convert it into some particular parts as per our requirements. That is the main thing of the paddler furnace.